Welcome to another edition of Ducks No Sports. This time, it's my fifth installment of my baseball previews. As this time, I preview the National League Central Division. Should be interesting with a potential World Series team and a lot of teams that could challenge that World Series team for the National League Central Division crown this upcoming season. But we'll start with the champs from last year, of course, the Cincinnati Reds, who I was big on Cincinnati Reds last year. Of course, viewers of Ducks No Sports knows that I picked the Cincinnati Reds to win the World Series. The beginning of the playoffs last year didn't happen as they, crapped down the stretch in the playoffs, did not play well, but I still really like this team. I mean, Joey Votto slowly turning into one of the top 5 players in all of baseball. Really hit for power, average, hit your home runs, gets on base. Love Joey Votto. And a great team all around. A great pitching staff, a great bullpen. I mean, Cincinnati Reds have everything clicking right now. Everything's working for Cincinnati right now, and I really think the Reds are an unstoppable force and will, I think, be at the top of this division pretty much all year. I don't want to see any team in this division that can really challenge them, but who knows? But I really like Cincinnati Reds this year with the combination of a great pitching staff, Joey Votto, other great players on that team, and a great bullpen. Just a recipe for success, and I think the Cincinnati Reds are in for a big 2013 in the upcoming season. Moving to the St. Louis Cardinals, who've really been the rock of this division over the years. They're always the consistent team. Team usually goes to the playoffs. But times they are a-changing, as I really do not like the Cardinals going into the season, with Carpenter gone and other players gone, retired. Not the same team they were a couple years ago. Of course, they've been gutted. Last couple years of players leaving in for free agency or by trades. Ain't the same team, very scrappy last year. I didn't really give them much hope last year either, but they really, down the stretch, really got together, made the playoffs. Made some noise in the playoffs, but of course falling short in the playoffs. But I really like the St. Louis Cardinals this year. Should be interesting because usually that consistent team, and you don't really count out the St. Louis Cardinals because they just prove time after time after time that they just raise to the occasion and are a great baseball team as always. And we'll be interesting this year. Not the same team, older guys come up will have to produce from their farm system. Be interesting how that works, but I think St. Louis Cardinals, I think this is finally the year that they finally fall off the map and are a bad baseball team. Hate to say it, but I just don't look at this roster. I just do not see the St. Louis Cardinals being a good team this year. And I think the St. Louis Cardinals are in for a rough 2013. All right, moving to the Milwaukee Brewers, the Brew Crew. Of course, biggest question for them has to be, is Brian Braun becoming a problem? Which means when he won that MVP a couple years ago, the sky was the limit. It looked like this guy was on to be the next superstar of Major League Baseball. But then after that, the steroid questions came in, the failed drug test, and it seems that Brian Braun is just becoming more of an issue for the Brewers off the field than on the field because since that MVP type season a couple years ago, hasn't really done much. And I really think Brian Braun now, should they trade Brian Braun? That's the question. Should they trade him? I wouldn't personally. I still think he can turn around and be a great year again, but will be interesting for the Brewers because you look at the rest of the Brewers, not much there. After Prince Fielder left, really got the team. The pitching, which really was their strength from a couple years ago, a lot of those guys have left. Their bullpen, was pretty strong a couple years ago, but you saw their closer last year with a lot of holes in it. But will the Brewers have a good year? I think they'll have a chance to have a good year. I mean, they still have a lot of makings of a good team they were a couple years ago, but I just think it's going to be an uphill battle this year for the Milwaukee Brewers, and I think it could be a bad 2013 for the Brew Crew. Okay, moving to a team I think could surprise people this year. Of course, I'm talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I think Pittsburgh Pirates could shock the world and actually make the playoffs this year. You heard it here first. Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, biggest question, can they turn around this year? I think they can. I mean, with AJ Burnett last year. You say which one, but AJ Burnett with the Yanks or the Jays, but he performed last year. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball last year. Should have been up for the Cy Young. Very, very good player last year. Bringing in a guy like a Russell Martin. Very good catcher. I really think he can turn around. Has been successful everywhere he's been. It's been with the Dodgers or the Yankees or now the Pirates. I think he will continue to be successful with the Pirates. And I really like the Pirates this year. McCutchen, very good, very underrated player, and want to stay there. Sign a big extension in the offseason for less money than he could have gotten on the open market because he just likes playing in Pittsburgh. And through the years, Pittsburgh the last couple of years has started to gain some steam and start looking like they could turn this thing around. And I think this is finally the year where they could break down this wall and maybe even win the National League Central, as I really like the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. And I think this upcoming year could be a big turning point for Pittsburgh Pirates, and I think the Pittsburgh Pirates shock the world and challenge the Reds for the National League Central Division. And last but certainly least, the Chicago Cubs. The Cubbies, oh boy, haven't won the World Series over 100 years now. And I don't think it's getting much better as you're looking at this roster. Not much there. They have a bad mix of old guys with guys that just aren't ready to play yet. And it's been pretty clear the last couple of years the Cubs just aren't ready to win. And the Cubs just, been so bad for so many years. And I really just don't see anything on this roster could turn around. I mean, this team needs to be stripped down to the bare and start over from fresh. Because this thing needs to be built the right way. Maybe they're doing it right now the right way, but they got to draft well. They got to bring in the right players, the right core players to turn this team around. And right now, I just don't see it. I think this year could get out of hand fast. I mean, Cubs, you look at the roster, not much there, as I've been saying. And I just think Chicago Cubs, not much you can say. Just going to be a rough 2013, and they will be again at the basement of the National League Central. All right, done all the previews. Now, down to the good stuff. Who wins the Central? Really, to me, this comes down to two teams. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds, and I got to go with my boy Joey Votto, and I got to go with the Cincinnati Reds. Top to bottom, one of the best teams, not only in the National League Central, but in the National League. So, it will be interesting here. That's your National League Central preview, but stay tuned next time as I will preview I think the best division in the National League, the National League West. Defending champion Giants, you got the Dodgers, and so much more. But till next time, I'm Aaron Duxbury saying I'm Ducks, and I know sports. Kind of.